10-inch Android tablets have come a long way in the last years, but there is one aspect holding most of the good ones back: the price. And here's where the Asus MeMO Pad FHD 10 steps in, bundling a high-resolution screen, powerful hardware, a solid selection of features and an up-to-date Android version for as low as $300. Are this enough to make it a Best Buy? Well, bear with me till the end of this review and you'll find out. On the outside, there's nothing special about this MeMO Pad. It looks pretty much like all the other Asus tablets we've seen on the past. It lacks the fancy materials and it's pretty large even for a 10-inch slate, as you can quickly spot based on that large bezel around the screen. But while not a premium device like the Sony Xperia Z tablet or the iPad, the MeMO Pad manages to tick almost all the right boxes. The textured plastic back is smooth and comfortable to touch, and Asus offers it in several different colors. The tablet is thin and light, and thanks to its rounded edges, quite comfortable to hold and use even for a longer period of time. Around the sides, you'll find all the needed ports and features, including a micro USB connector, a micro SD card reader, dual microphones and HDMI video output. On the back there's also a camera and a set of stereo speakers, but more about these a bit later. For now, let's power on the tablet. The screen covers most of the front face, with only a camera and a light sensor piercing the black bezel towards the top. As most devices of its kind, the MeMO Pad offers a 16:10 screen, or in other words is designed for landscape mode use. You can flip it over in portrait if you want to, but I find the display too small and too narrow to use like this. That, however, might be because I'm used to an iPad and its different form factor. Anyway, the screen. Asus packed a 1920 by 1200 pixel IPS panel on their device, which leads to high pixel density. As a result, details, edges, fonts and pretty much everything is going to look very sharp on this tablet. On the other hand, this display is not very bright, and while this won't be a problem while using the MeMO Pad indoors, it can be when taking it outside. Also, the colors seem a bit washed out to me, again compared to the ones painted by the iPad, but you can tweak them if you want to with the Asus Splendid app. Bottom point, this is not the best panel I've seen on a tablet so far, but you can count the better ones on your fingers. Knowing that, and the fact that this slate sells for a lot less than those packing the superior displays, should actually make you very happy. Screen aside, the hardware sets the MeMO Pad FHD 10 apart from almost all the other 10-inch Android slates of the moment. A dual-core Intel Atom processor lies inside, with 2GB of RAM and 16 or 32GB of storage. The Atom brand might bring back memories, but it has nothing to do with the netbooks and low-powered Windows machines we've seen several years ago. This is a completely new platform meant to run Android. It's not designed to be extremely fast, but to offer a proper balance between power and efficiency. As a result, the MeMO Pad fails to really impress in benchmarks, but it's not a bad performer either, as you can see from here. Still, I for one care more about the everyday experience and how a device feels in daily use. And here's where the Asus slate does decently well. With Android 4.2.2 pre-installed, lightly skinned with what Asus calls the Waveshare UI, the tablet is snappy most of the time, but not always completely smooth. Still, I was happy with it, and in the next part of the video I'll show you what to expect. You can of course use such a device for basic stuff like browsing, reading or listening to music, but also things like watching movies and playing games. Out of the box, the MeMO Pad only recognizes few of the video files I usually test on Android slates, but with a good third-party app, you can run pretty much all sorts of clips on it. As for games, it takes a while to load them, but after that, the gaming experience is alright, although once again, not without occasional stuttering. Of course, there is in my opinion the same issue with this MeMO Pad as with all the other large Android slates. The apps aren't exactly there, especially when compared to Apple's ecosystem. Some apps are missing and many are not optimized for the larger screens on these devices, which leads to ugly textures and pixelation, like you can see here in GTA Vice City. Hopefully, tablet apps will catch up once there are more solid devices on the market like this one. Overall though, the MeMO Pad is a fairly good multimedia companion. The sharp screen and especially the speakers help a lot. There are two of them, one placed on each side of the device, but they are facing backwards and not towards the user. Even so, the audio is loud and pleasant, with little vibrations and distortions even when pushing up the volume. Having a quick look at the software on this slate, you'll notice the several tweaks Asus adds to the OS. For instance, there's a customized notification panel with some extra toggles, there's a multifunctional home button that you can press and hold in order to access several fast shortcuts, or there's the ability to create different sets of home screens for different activities that you can access when pinching the glass. Last but not least, Asus added their own version of small apps, widgets and applications that run on top of your regular panels, something we've seen on Sony and Samsung devices in the past. There are also a handful of apps pre-installed on this device. Most of them are pretty useless, but you might like some of them, like Asus's Blended, the web storage service or Audio Wizard. I won't get in depth here, but if you have any questions about any of these, drop them in the comments below and I'll do my best to reply. All in all, the MeMo Pad is a decent performer. Not the best out there, but not shabby either. Of course, many of you will wonder how it compares to devices like the Nexus 10 or even the older Asus pads built on Qualcomm or Nvidia chips. I'll address that in some other clips. For now, I can say that the Intel hardware is competitive and it's going to be good enough for most of you. The Intel platform is supposed to be highly efficient as well. The MeMo Pad, with an average sized battery, lasts between 5 and 10 hours on a charge based on what you're doing on it. And these are alright results for a 10-inch Android slate. The screen is the biggest consumer, and since the panel on this slate is a bit dim, I had to set the brightness about 70% during daily use while indoor, and that did eat through battery life. Even so, I got around 8 hours of life while looping a 1080p clip and almost 5 while running games. If you plan to squeeze more juice out of the MeMo Pad, you can activate the highly customizable smart saving mode and even lower the screen's brightness. And there are a few extras worth mentioning here, like the extended set of connectivity options or the cameras. I really don't care much about the shooters on a 10-inch device, as I'm strongly against taking pictures and videos with such a large gadget. But they are present on the MeMo Pad and they offer decent results, as you can see from the next several seconds. At the end of the day, the Asus MeMo Pad FHD 10 is perhaps the best mid-range Android tablet of the moment. It fails to impress in any way, whether we're talking about the looks, the performances or the features. But with the 16GB version starting at only $300, there's really no other better tablet out there for that kind of money right now. At least no other premium brand tablet, as there might be some white label devices that could stand next to it on some markets. Even so, the MeMo Pad FHD 10 will have to face a handful of rivals. Among them, the Nexus tablets stand out from the crowd. Right now, the Nexus 10 is more expensive, but it packs vanilla Android, is faster and offers a better screen. And don't forget that's a last year's generation slate. The new 2013 model might completely change the game. There's also the Nexus 7 FHD to consider. It's $70 cheaper than the MeMo Pad and outmatches it on pretty much all aspects. Of course, size is what really sets them apart. A 7-inch tablet is meant for life on the go, while a 10-inch device is mostly meant for home use, for movies and games. So in the end, it's up to you to pick between these or all the other tablets on the market based on your budget and what you need from your future device. With that in mind, it's time to wrap this up. Thank you for watching and let me know in the comments down below what do you think about this Asus MeMo Pad FHD 10 and whether it's something you would buy. If not, then what would you choose instead? I'm looking forward to your comments, and in the meantime, if you found this clip useful, make sure to share it around and hit the thumbs up button. I'll catch you later.